Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we're back with more Birushana. Just continuing Tomamori's route. Yay! Anyway, picking up where we left off. I'm assuming this is like a Tomamori fucking flashback, obviously, so. Or dream? Could be a dream. Are we gonna, like, end up in his dream? Accidentally? Ooh. I don't know if you, like, when you're in dreams, if you can see, like, if you're dreaming about the past, if somebody could see that, or if it's more like, oh, we can meet up in dreams, like, hey, this is the here and now, you know what I mean? Huh. That'd be interesting to find out. But, anyway. Tomamori, you understand? You have inherited my power more than anyone else. You're only 5, but the prowess you've shown is outstanding. You have a gift. You'll continue to join me in battle. Let's show everyone the power of the Heike. God, that hurts my throat. Your blood's special. Use your power to the fullest in service of the Heike. I mean, this could also explain why Tomamori gives absolutely no fucks about his clan. I'm just saying, because his dad is extorting him for child labor. Yes, father. Baby Oh. Is it morning already? I feel as though I had a strange dream last night. So maybe we were kind of like vibing his dream. While trying to remember the context of the dream, I turned and looked next to me. Oh, I was really hoping we were going to spy on him while he was sleeping, but no. Damn it. Good morning, princess. Not this again! Oh, how I enjoyed looking at your sleeping face again today. Ugh. I swear, I'll wake up before you tomorrow! I shook off his hand that was still holding mine and got up quickly. Oh my god, go away. Don't show it again. God, Norton. And like, every time, it's like, I've already done the scan. Like, go away. Stop popping up every 5 minutes. Fucking thing is irritating. I shook off his hand that was still holding mine. God, okay. It's distracting because it's this giant fucking pop-up that takes up half my screen, and it's fucking yellow, and it's like, go away. A few days later, Mountain Road. Not traveling through the Tokaido district sure makes the journey take longer. I'm really getting sick of my fucking volume just putting itself back up to 50 whenever, because my headset's totally down, but the music is very distractingly loud in my ear. So, like, I want it down, so I turn my volume down on my computer, and it's like, no, you wanted it here. No, I didn't. That's why I don't understand this! Why is my computer haunted? Stop it! Jesus. All the pop-ups now in the fucking OneDrive on my goddamn tablet. I don't use it, because I don't want it, and it's always like, you're not signed in! I know. Fuck off. Good God. Anyway. But considering we're trying to hide our identities, I suppose it can't be helped. I looked up at Tomamori walking in front of me. Are we staring at his beautiful backside? You probably can't tell if he's got a nice ass in that. Well, no, you can't. She wouldn't admit it even if she noticed. Tomamori continued to walk up the steep path with a composed face. I mean, we're kind of looking at his profile, so that's nice. He looks so out of place here in the mountains. If you keep staring at me like that, you're going to burn a hole through the back of me. It seems like there's something you want to say to me, so just go ahead and say it. It's just seems so out of place in the mountains like this. Is that so? Aside from on the battlefield, you look like a nobleman no matter where you go. You speak as though you've seen me in my daily life. I don't have to. Even those of us in Kurama often heard rumors about the exotic lives of the Heike aristocrats. An aristocrat, eh? You know, I never asked to live like an aristocrat. And quite the opposite, really. I've always thought the Heike becoming a bunch of aristocrats was a bad thing. Really? I paused at his unexpected words. Tomomori also stopped and smiled thinly. When I was a boy, the world was filled with far more strife than it is today. The Heike were forced to fight battles constantly. However, since the increase of our prosperity, the number of battles to fight have decreased dramatically. That came out decreased dramatically. Oh god, anyway. As such, the people of the Heike began acting like aristocrats, thinking only of singing, dancing, and the like. You said when you were a boy, but it's not like you fought in those battles as a child, right? Oh, no. I've been fighting since I was very young, thanks to my abilities. My father's a very stern man, you know. Though I was very young, I was forced to fight in the Heiji Rebellion. You're like, you would have been like 5! And he's like, yeah. Since you were a child? Come to think of it, I think I've heard something like that before. Who did I hear that from? I was at a loss for a response to Tomomori's words and looked down sheepishly at my feet. I was born the youngest son of the Minamoto clan and raised in the mountains of Kurama, in the shadow of the Heike. Sorry. But I had Shungen and Lord Kakunichi to keep me out of war. But you were born, like, during the time or after, you know what I mean? Like, you were literally would have been, what, not even a toddler, so... I grew up an orphan because of the Heike. I grew up under constant surveillance because of the Heike. So no, I don't want to hear a Heike ask me if I grew up happy, but I'm sure a pampered aristocrat like you wouldn't understand. And then you're like, feel bad about this now, huh? As I responded, Tomomori only stared back silently. Oh, no. That lonely expression on Tomomori's face. Was he thinking back to his own childhood then? A moment later, bitterness welled up in my chest. You said you don't know why you have these powers, but did you ever have any questions about them? Didn't you ever try to ask your father where they came from? Now that you mention it, no, I didn't. I guess I never really cared to know. Tomomori's answer brought even more bitterness to my heart. Why didn't you even seem to care when I told you that my brother might invade Kyoto? Oh, that. Still? You don't care? You act as though this is happening to someone else or someone else's family. Why are you acting like this? And then I'll ask you the opposite. Why do you care so much? Having narrowly escaped from Kyoto, you returned just in time for Yoritomo to raise an army. And now you're working with me, trying to figure out who you are. Tomomori came closer and touched my cheek. Spacey, why do you try so hard? Because I just suck at everything and I have to try really hard. Some of us, things just don't come easy for some of us, Tomomori. Rub it in. I couldn't help but stare at Tomomori's face. Also, I mean, for us, it's like we always have to prove ourselves because we're a woman pretending to be a man, so I gotta try harder, you know. Not that anybody knows, they think I'm a guy, but you know what I mean? Like, still, you know deep down inside, so. You really want to know? I couldn't stand the puzzled look on his face. Originally, it was because you told me to let fate take its course and surrender to it. That's when I decided I had to cut my own path. I decided I wasn't going to surrender myself. Oh, I want to surrender myself to Tomomori, come on. Besides, the only reason I left Hiraizumi is because you wouldn't leave me alone. That's why I wasn't going to run away from you. I was determined to stand up to you. That hasn't changed. You said yourself if I didn't learn about this power and who I am, I could end up hurting the people I care about. That's why I try so hard. That's why I'm working with you, to try to find a way out of this. My words spilled out in a flurry of frustration and anger. What's so funny? I'm sorry, I'm just surprised. It seems you really took my words to heart, didn't you? What? But I knew you'd come back to me. I knew you'd feel my presence and know that we're one and the same, and that you'd come back to face me. Why bother asking me why I try so hard? You may be upset with me for saying this, but whenever I talk with you, I feel I want to put into words everything that comes to mind. And when I see you living your life trying so hard, when I seem to act differently than my usual self. Don't make it sound like it's my fault you are the way you are. That was a really strange chuckle there, Jesus. I shook my head at Tomomori, who laughed and walked away, leaving me to myself. In many ways, you really are the opposite of me. I find it quite admirable, your desire to stand up to your fate. What are you doing? Well, let's get a move on. I turned around to see Tomomori staring at me as I walked away from him. It was your tears that first drew me to you. It was strange even for me to feel so attracted to someone. What are you talking about all of a sudden? Tomomori's like, I give no fucks about anyone or anything, and then you cried, and I was like, holy shit. Like, the windows are open. Like, that's actually kind of endearing. I'm not gonna lie. He's not like, oh yeah. He's like, I never cared about anyone, and then you cried, and it was just so into that. It's a weird thing, but like, hey, if that's what flipped his switch is, I'm here for it. Not into anybody else but me. Or anybody else can cry in front of him, but no. That's what did. When I saw your power, I hoped that fate would give you hardship, which you could use to grow in strength and beauty. And the sight of you at Fuji River, it was the most vivid and beautiful thing I've ever seen. I thought it'd be enough for me to see your tears again, but I was wrong. I want to see your smile. I do not wish to see your face in fear or anger. This again? He's actually growing as a priest. Like, I just want to make you cry. And then he's like, I don't want you to be, like, angry or afraid. I want you to smile now. Like, he says it in a creepy kind of way. And she's like, but it's like, if you read it, it's like, it's actually really nice, though. Like, he went from, like, I'm going to make you cry to be like, I kind of just want you to smile and I don't want you to be, like, angry or anything. You know, we don't want bad emotions. Aside from crying, I guess. But, like, still, it's progress, I guess. You said the same thing at the inn. I told you, give up already. I'm not your Shirabiyoshi. No, I don't want that kind of smile. And Tomomori fell silent as if in deep thought. Come on, let's get going. Yeah, I suppose you're right. He replied, but somewhat blankly. What on earth is he thinking about? All of a sudden he's like, yeah, I don't want you to smile like that. Wait. Tomomori's stuck in his head now all of a sudden like, what the fuck are you turning into a softie? He's always been obsessed with us, which I'm okay with, but now all of a sudden he's getting squishy on the inside. You knew it was going to happen, but I love it. Tilting my head, I stepped out. Omi, Lake Biwa. I can't wait for when Shungen finds us and is like, oh, thank God we found you! I can rescue you from Tomomori! And I'm like, I don't want to go. I love Tomomori. And then he's going to be like, the fuck? Can't wait for that. Finally made it back this far. Under the moonlight shining through the clouds, I looked out at the large, sprawling lake in front of us. Cross here and we'll be back in Kyoto. It's getting late. No boats to take us back, I see. Since we have no choice, let's rest our feet by the lake. I'd like to find a place to stay if we can, but it might be difficult at this late hour. Let's rest here if you don't mind. Breeze from the lake is nice, and I'm hoping we can find the first morning boat. I see. If that's what my princess desires. First I was nervous, but I was getting used to traveling with Tomomori. See? It's only been like a couple of days. I don't even know how long this route has taken, but like how long they've taken traveling together, but at max a couple of days. I mean, a minimum a couple of days at least, right? 4 or 5 days, maybe a week. And it's like, and she's already like kind of into this now. Like she's already just fallen apart. You didn't realize he would whittled you down so fast, did you? His constant teasing was still a pain sometimes, though. Sometimes. Not all the time. I removed the veil from my head, and the cool night breeze caressed my neck. Shall we start a fire? Tomomori gathered twigs from around the area, and I put fallen leaves and dead grass on top of them. When the fire was lit, I let out a sigh of relief and sat down. Spacey, do you see that little island on the lake? Yeah, I see it. And there's a shrine on that island. It was built by my father. If you look closely, you can see the Torii Gate. Oh, dear God. Can't. That's my friend, but, like, I had to mute it, because, like, I can't answer the phone right now. Because I'll just be talking to her for, like, 3 fucking hours about random shit. I can't do it. Oh, yeah, I can see it. I strained my eye and saw the Torii Gate standing on the island. My father had built shrines everywhere, starting in Aki province. Yet each shrine he builds worships the same god. What kind of god is that? I couldn't help but wonder, what kind of god does a man who has everything in the world worship? It's said that the god originally came from the western continent, the goddess of water. See, your father must be very religious then. Actually, I don't believe he has any faith. What do you mean? If he had no faith, why would he continue to build shrines, one after another? Tomomori gave a twisted smile. I just told you, all the shrines are dedicated to the water goddess. That's all he ever told me. Oh my god, are we water demon dragons? What? At least that's the way Father told me to explain it when questioned about it. So, he might not actually be worshipping that god? Who knows? Tomomori hunched his shoulders and laughed. Actually, I've heard that the god that my father worships is actually a giant snake. That would make more sense. We have demon dragon powers, right? Or snake dragons? Demon snake powers? Whatever. The water goddess stuff is just an excuse he tells other people. Strange. What kind of shrine do you think it is? Like I said before, I don't know what it is or if my father has any faith at all. I looked at the island on the lake once more. Wind feels like it's getting stronger. I'm like, should we go to the island and investigate, Scooby Gang? Rubber Raggy, let's go. Are you cold? We're like fucking Velma and Fred here, though. Like, a weird pairing. No, I'm fine. And speaking of the wind... Or is he the Daphne? He might be the Daphne, because he's the pretty one. But he's not always getting into trouble. So he's kind of like the Velma, because he's, like, really fucking smart. So, like, it was really confusing. Tomomori is like all the Scooby Gang kind of wrapped up. As Tomomori spoke, his sleeves flapped in the breeze. I wonder if you know the tale about the woman on the lake. My god, the music just got dramatic. It's said that a man who lived by a certain lake found a young woman standing by the water one day. When he went to talk with her, he found the woman had lost her memory and couldn't even remember her own name. Okay, so this is tying into amnesia memories then? Except for we weren't found on a lake, but like, whatevs. So the man took her back to his house and took care of her. As time went by, the two were drawn to each other and fell in love. But for some reason, the woman insisted on sleeping alone on moonless nights. She told the man never to come see her then. But on one such night, the man went to the room where the woman was, and he found her in the shape of a terrible demon. So that's your grandma? I'm just throwing this out there, right? The woman who had become a demon roared and chased after the man, who ran away, screaming in fear. A monk who had heard the commotion rushed over and used a prayer to expel the demon, and suddenly... the woman's figure disappeared in a puff of smoke, leaving only a snarl of resentment for the man at the edge of the lake. It's said that to this day, when the wind rushes over the lake in the dead of night, one can still hear the demons growl. I'm just saying, I feel like the story ties into, where our power comes from. Otherwise, there'd be no point in telling us this. Oh, I see. I guess the sound of the wind kind of does sound like a snarl or something. What's wrong? Tomomori wore a resentful expression on his face. Aren't you scared? Didn't you just say you didn't want me to be afraid? And now you're trying to scare me? Dick. What the I thought if I told you that horrible story, you'd be scared and cry. Don't tell me Tomomori told me that story just to scare me. You think I'm gonna cry over a story like that? He made us laugh, though. We're not even like, yeah, whatever. We're like, we're laughing. Now he wanted to see us smile. This is a true jovial smile, not even a fake one, because we're laughing. That's the realest smile you can have. Or one of, That story wasn't scary at all. You really think something like that would make me cry? Wait, why are you laughing? Tomomori, is this doing shit for you? Because you thought that stupid story would scare me? Did you really think that story was gonna frighten me? You clearly have no idea what I've been through. Thinking back to the resentful Tomomori earlier, I couldn't help but laugh again. Shigehira and Noritsune were scared when I told them. What were they, 5? With a story like that? How about we just keep laughing at him? How could AK Lords be scared by something like this? Were they sheltered or something? She just keeps laughing and it's hilarious. It's too much. But now Tomomori has seen us smile. And it's not even just like a happy smile. This is the joke. Like, there's like happy smiles, but this is like the complete and utter joy, laughter, because we just find this hilarious. I genuinely laughed long and hard. Then... What? Show me your face. Tomomori hugged me tightly and gently pinched my cheeks with both hands. Ah, finally. Tomomori? Your smile just now. Oh, I've waited to see it. I mean, this is actually true, because it's not like he's seen us smiling because of other people, and then he's like, I want to make you smile. It's different. We've always scowled at him and been angry and whatever. Or the crying face. We've never actually smiled or laughed. He's never seen this. This is 100% new to him. Not even like, oh, I saw you smile at Shungen, and I want you to smile. I want to make you smile like that. Where it's like, he's never, this is like, holy shit, you're capable of smiling! Yeah, so that's even better. Thank goodness the moon was out tonight. I could see your beautiful smile. Tomomori, unabashedly happy, brought his face even closer to mine. Are you gonna kiss me again? Because I'm here for it. I must admit I never thought you'd laugh at my ghost story. You're more wicked than I would have thought. Wasn't his usual sly smile. Tomomori smiled innocently as if he were a little boy. Oh, and all of a sudden she's like, my heart stopped. Turned away from his eyes that shined with love for me. Don't be ridiculous. Let go of me. Yeah, in that instant, that's why she's fighting. She's like, like his actual, not his secret, sly smile, his real, true, deep, happy smile. You just saw it, and you know damn well her heart skipped a beat. But I don't want to let go. I want to see you laugh more and more. Think I can laugh with you pinching my cheeks like this? I managed to shake his hands off me and embarrassingly rubbed my flushed cheeks. I wonder if you remember the night you escaped from Kyoto and we fought on these very beaches. I couldn't forget even if I wanted to. You and I crossed swords, but time you were genuinely frightened for your life. You were determined to escape, and you struck out at me boldly. I was mesmerized by you at that time. Spacey, I knew you would grow. I knew you would grow strong, and I knew the scars you gained on your way would only increase your beauty. I knew that if I continued to listen to him meekly, he'd just go on saying the words he always did. But now that certainty is wavering. Your face as you laughed, your smile, was more spectacular than even your beauty on the battlefield. All of a sudden, Tomomori's he's like, I just want to watch you bleeding and scarred. It's so hot. I want to make you cry. And now all of a sudden he's like, hey, I never seen you laugh. I'm going to make you smile too. And then all of a sudden he sees the smile and he's like, wait, all I want to do is make you happy now. Like, he was already tottering and now he just completely fell off the wrong side. I mean, it's the right side for us, but it's the wrong side for him. And it's like, oh my God. He just completely turned the corner and turned around, going backwards. I'm happy. I like it. Good progress. But it's kind of fucking adorable. It's like, watching people be happy is amazing! Tomomori reached out toward me and slowly lowered his arm, just short of touching my chin. When I tell you to surrender yourself, you defy me. When I want to make you cry, you laugh. Spacey, you truly are a wonder, aren't you? Sorry, that line in the voice is gonna kill me too. You truly are a wonder. Thanks. I feel like I should be the one saying that to you. I fought you in the mountains. Never did I expect we'd be sitting side by side looking at Lake Biwa like this. Even though some time had passed since we last fought, I'm starting to believe that perhaps Tomomori is not so terrible after all. It's happening! She's finally gonna, fall off that cliff! My heart stirred in a strange way as I remembered the innocent smile I had seen when he hugged me just now. I told you! Fucking told you that moment was the... I forgot how to breathe. No, I can't lose my resolve. Yet... My love. What? It's getting late. Let's head to bed. Right. I nodded awkwardly and Tomomori quietly caught my arm. Here. Why? I feel so magnificent. I've always wanted to see your smile, and now I finally have. I want to go to sleep tonight thinking about your smile. So? So, wouldn't it be better if we slept in each other's arms? This again! Tomomori chuckled as I tried to move away. I'm only joking. He's not, though. Huh? Tomomori gently let go of my arm and grabbed my hand. All I ask is you allow us to sleep hand in hand. I promise I won't go any further than that. She's like, I mean, you better not. It's a terrible side of him. A side I don't like. But there's also a kind side. Suppose that's something else I've learned on this trip. I laid down and closed my eyes, my fingers intertwined with his. I love how she's like, he's kind of an asshole, but why do I like it? It's so windy, but it's not uncomfortable either. Fall asleep here. Feeling the chill of the night wind against my body and the warmth of Tomomori's hand, I fell into a deep sleep. Pitch black. A thing. I swept my hand around to explore the area and immediately hit a wall. Is this some sort of hut or something? Why am I here? Darkness and cold made me feel faint. Suddenly I saw two small lights that looked like candles approaching. Candles? Or tanke, perhaps? Free electricity method for producing light. Resembles a Western candlestick holder. So, candle basic. Just when I was about to approach them... Oh, they're not candles. Those are eyes. Human eyes! Two Eyes noticed me and began to approach. I frantically pushed on the wall next to me. Glowing eyes. Well, demon eyes, sure. This place, this place is... Oh, it's just a dream. Is it morning already? I thought I was with someone here. That's it. As I desperately tried to remember, I gradually began to feel warmer. It's warm here. Maybe I'll get a bit more sleep. I couldn't fight the drowsiness, and my eyelids naturally fell back down. Here was Shungen, right? Did we venture here from Kurama? Looks like another beautiful day, Shungen. The warmth of the sunlight made me happy, and as I spoke, my voice sounded sleepier than I thought I was. Oh, poor Tomomori is like, Shungen! Ah! You're right. It is a beautiful day, but I'm not Shungen. He looks kind of mad about it. Look at his face. He looks kind of pissed. Huh? Tomomori! What? Why? And before you say anything else, you're the one who wouldn't let me go. Last night, I think it was a little while after we said we were going to sleep, but you came up and snuggled next to me. Ugh! Yeah, right! I must have gotten cold and wanted to stay warm. I love the fact that we're like all snuggled up against Tomomori. Like, who was I here with? Shungen? Like, you didn't think that was weird, girl? You know, Tomomori, there's a completely reasonable explanation for this. Are you really going to make excuses, even after you came to me? Grabbing my arm, Tomomori squinted his eyes and brought his face closer to mine. There's no use denying it anymore. Have you forgotten the words we exchanged when we woke up in the middle of the night? Huh, no way! We didn't talk in the middle of the night last night! Oh, how can you be so sure? What? Are you trying to tell me we spent the night singing to each other or something like that? Like I'd ever do something stupid like that with you. It's like, oh, well, it wasn't singing. Ah! As soon as I finished speaking, Tomomori's gaze turned cold. Shouldn't you be off looking for Shungen? Oh, he hurt his feeling! He has one and we heard it. Oh, no. What? And just a moment ago you were muttering the name Shungen. You said the same thing the night after we fled the battle together. Oh, Tomomori. I feel so bad for hurting him. Because I love him so much, but I'd probably feel the same way. Even if I hated him, I'd be like, this is kind of, aw. You know what I mean? Like, because he's squishy on the inside, you know? I'm the one who gave you my spirit to drink. I'm the one who saved your life, and yet you wake up calling out another man's name. It's none of your business. There's nothing to be upset about. I've known him forever. That's none of your business is absolutely, like, the worst fucking answer. There's nothing to be upset about. I mean, that's not bad, but it's also, like, there's nothing to be upset about, but you're kind of negating, you're basically telling him, like, I know you're upset, but, like, that's stupid. You're not listening to, like, so if someone's upset about something, it's like, it's nothing to get upset about. It's almost like you're ignoring their feelings. You're basically telling them, like, your feelings aren't valid. He's obviously upset, so even though, like, there's no reason for this to upset you because here's the deal. I've known him forever. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the safest route. I've known him forever. Good job, me. Tomomori, you, me, soulmates. Okay. Get to open his flower. Still sounds so gross. Stop chewing on my headset. I hadn't told you about this yet, but Shungen's a childhood friend of mine. We've grown up together since we were born. I've never been away from him this long. Guess it makes sense that I'm looking around for him. As I explained, Tomomori let out a long sigh. Don't you dare chew my headset! What did I just tell you? You stop it, bad bird. Your childhood friend. That makes things even worse. What? In what way? So many ways. Like, childhood friends are the ones you fall in love with, and you're like, ew, Shungen's like my brother. Although, I mean, we did date our brother. Not really our brother, but still, you know. I really don't understand why you're so upset. And he could absolutely be our cousin or our brother, so I'm just saying. Half at least. Okay. I'm gonna venture it's more like a cousin thing than a siblings, because, like, did Kiyomori have a bastard child then? Because you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only reason. And Tomomori would have known about us because he's older. So, like, you would have known if you... Well, maybe not. I mean, obviously, your father could have knocked up some other random person. So, I mean, I guess. But, like... And maybe that's why Ikinozeni was like, oh my god, we need to get rid of this kid, right? She knew about it. So we could be half-siblings. But we're not full-on blood-related. So that's a plus, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah. We have yet to play a game where we're actually, like... Okay, that's not exactly true. We haven't actually had, like, a real full-on, like, romantic relationship with a sibling. There have been other games, one in particular, you know if you know, where it's like, I mean, this is not a route, but it's a little questionable, the feelings that are happening here. And maybe I was reading into it because I wanted to, but, like, you know, it's like, it's a little odd relationship for siblings, but it's never been like you're making out and then you're marrying. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I really just don't feel like this is going to be that they tease you with Yoritomo being your brother, and they're like, not actually. So, like, I have a feeling that it's like, okay, I mean, we've dated our cousins and shit before back in ye oldie days games, so, like, if Tomomori was our cousin, yeah, okay, fine. We've done this before, alright? We've dated our cousins before, so it's fine. I just don't see the game going down the route of him being our half-brother. Because we've yet to play a game that's actually crossed that line, you know? So, I'm just thinking they're going to be like, whoa, we're going to make you think, and then it's going to be like, oh dear God! Why will my phone not stop fucking ringing tonight? Jesus Christ, it's like the third fucking call in the last 30 minutes. Fuck off, people. It's all like spam calls, except for my friend that one time, but it's like, what the fuck? My phone doesn't ring. Oh my god. It's all scam calls, and I fucking hate it. Anyway, I'm just saying that I would feel like Tomomori would be our cousin before they'd go the half-sibling route, but anyway. Also, the fact that the two of you grew up together so deep in the mountains. What? If you can't see it, I just don't have it in me to explain it right now. I love how we made him sad. Let's just stop talking about this for now. So crushed by this. What? My voice came out unexpectedly loud and harsh. Tomomori smiled as he stood up. I'm sorry, Princess. Let's get ready and cross Lake Biwa. It's like later where he's gonna be like, we're gonna have to be like, I don't love Shungen, Tomomori. I only love you. Oh, it's gonna... Oh! Actually, this is better for when Shungen shows up to rescue us. Tomomori's gonna be really like, I really hate you now, motherfucker. And then we're like, Tomomori, don't kill him! He's gonna be like, because you love him? And we're like, no, I only love you! And that's when we're gonna admit we love him. Wait, so you're not gonna tell me why you're in a bad mood after all? Do you want me to talk about it? Tomomori's face was deceptively cheery as he spoke. The way he stopped himself without telling me why he was upset, it's enough to drive anyone mad with curiosity. And that might be just what Tomomori wants. Fine, don't tell me. I'll get ready as soon as I can. Sorry, just wait one moment. I hurriedly grabbed my things and darted into the nearby bushes. Well, well. Here I thought you were going to beg for me to tell you. And typical of her not to make things easy on me. Okay, I'm ready. So, shall we, Princess? Once we cross the lake, we'll reach Kyoto, and there I can learn more about myself. I left Shungen and the others to come here. I have to find something of value. As I stared at the rippling lake, my expression tightened with resolve. Tomomori, let's go find a ship to take us across the lake. I know. Tomomori lightly patted down his robe and nodded. Then the two of us headed together to the boat landing. When we arrived at the pier, we quickly talked to a local captain and boarded his boat. Tomomori, who had gotten on the boat first, extended his hand toward me. Princess, your hand. Right. Holding onto Tomomori's hand, I boarded the ship safely, and I suddenly realized I just took Tomomori's hand like it was nothing. I would have never even thought of doing something like that before, but now you enjoy touching him. Well, his hand anyway. You're going to enjoy touching the rest of him soon. Don't worry. Fine. I stared at our joined hands in astonishment. It's not as bad as the ocean, but the waters can be choppy. We'd best be careful. Right. I wonder if it's because we've been holding hands every night, but I've gotten used to holding his hand. And you like it! Oh! I looked up at the sky, feeling the need to let out a big sigh. We're only temporarily working together. My only goal is to find out what I need to know. My name is Heike. I'm Genji. Once I know who I am and I know more about my power, we'll cross swords again. Well, metaphorically this time. When the thought crossed my mind, my mood felt heavy and dark. Princess, you can sit over there if you want to. Princess? I already knew that we'll have to cross swords again one day. Or at least, I should have known that. Her mood's dark and heavy because she doesn't want to fight Tomomori now, oddly. But why does the thought of fighting him make my heart sink so low? We're finally falling in love with him! I'm so happy! Why do I find it so hard to let go of his hand? What's the matter? Not feeling well. Tomomori, who pulled his hand away from mine, touched my forehead with his other hand. You don't seem to have a fever, but maybe the wind last night caused you to catch a cold. I'm fine. Just thinking about going back to Kyoto has made me a little nervous, that's all. Oh, I see. And this will be your first time back to Kyoto since you left. Tomomori seemed to believe the lie I had quickly come up with.
So, you two are headed to Kyoto? I'd be careful if I was you. The capital's not a peaceful place right now.
As we prepared to leave, the boatman's gruff voice cut through the morning air. And just what do you mean by that?
So you haven't heard. The capital's in a state of turmoil. I heard Lord Kiyomori's sick with fever.
Oh my god, Tomomori's not even going to be there when his dad dies. I was like, his dad's going to die eventually. Like, we know this, but, sorry. What? What?
Hey, for the past few days, it's all anyone in the capital's been talking about. Despite taking over the whole damn world, I guess Lord Kiyomori's still human after all.
Tomomori looks pissed. He's not dead yet? Tomomori... I gently looked up at Tomomori, who was silent and bore a stiff expression. Mother... And I feel like he's kind of conflicted about it, like it's your dad, but also your dad's a douchebag, and you kind of hate him, right? We disembarked from the ship, and from Katata headed to the mountains, and then to Kyoto. Spacey, it's a little steep around here. Are you sure you're alright? Yeah, no problem. I grew up in the mountains, remember? I'm used to mountain roads like this. Huh. Yes, I suppose you did. Oh, well then I guess it's time for us to enter the city. You must have had a hard time moving, but you've walked so far. Never want to wear a woman's kimono again. What a shame. There are so many beautiful kimonos that I'd love to dress you up in. You've got to be kidding me. When I gave my light retort, Tomomori laughed heartily. Your hand, princess. There's a big step up ahead. I'll pull you up. Without waiting for my response, Tomomori took my hand. Why don't I shake off his hand? I'm fine on my own. I don't need his help with these steps. Not wanting to think too much about it, I instead asked Tomomori about our plans from here. So, what are we going to do now? Well, I've been thinking. Once we arrive in Kyoto, I think we should head straight to Rokuhara. Rokuhara? With me? A gasp escaped my lips. My powers were inherited from my father. If you have the same power, then surely father knows something about it. When we arrive at the capital, I was going to secure a room at an inn for you, and then go talk to my father alone. But it seems we may not have time for that. Any delay could cost me the chance to see him at all.
But Rokuhara's the home of the Heike. If anyone there finds out I'm a Genji...
Of course we won't just walk in through the front gate. I have other methods, but you'll have to trust me.
To Rokuhara to meet the leader of the Heike. So, you're pretty sure Kiyomori knows something about my powers? Tomomori nodded in silence as I asked. Took all my courage to keep my voice from trembling. Isn't Ikinozane still alive? Can we just ask her? Right then, let's head to Rokuhara.
Are you sure? You really trust me, even though I didn't tell you how we were going to get in. After all, maybe this is some elaborate plot of mine to get you to freely waltz into the wall of Heike's into a wall of Heike's swords.
Really expect me to believe that? No, I don't think something like that would be the least bit of interest to you.
Oh?
You don't do anything that doesn't interest you, especially not for the Heike. You're more interested in finding out who I am than scoring points with the Heike. No, I'll be fine. Like how we've figured Tomomori out and he's like,
You have me pegged.
What? It's even creepier when you stop talking.
No, you know far more about me than I thought you did.
What?
It's nothing, but the way you tell it, I sound like a very passive person.
On the contrary, you're willing to go all out for something that interests you. There's something admirable about that. You went to all that effort just to kidnap me from the battlefield and drag me back to Kyoto. That couldn't have been easy. I'll be honest, pretty jealous of your ability to live pursuing only the things you want to. What? I told you it's creepy when you're silent and I don't know what you're thinking.
Yes, Princess. I was just thinking about all the beautiful kimonos I'm going to give you to wear.
It was absolutely not, but he's not going to tell us what he was honestly thinking. Are you serious? Shouldn't you be worrying about your father instead of that?
I appreciate your kindness, but I'm afraid I'm not at all upset about my father's illness.
The man made him fight at 5. Why would he be that upset? You know what I'm saying?
No, though I am impatient to get more information about you.
Crazy? It's your father! How could you not be worried about him?
Why worry? The ship's captain was right after all.
What?
No matter what you achieve in this world, you'll one day be forced to leave it. No man escapes death.
The way he spoke, I could tell he wasn't putting up a brave facade. He was speaking how he truly felt.
Come along, Princess. Let's get over this hill.
Tomomori walked ahead of me, and I started walking behind him, but Tomomori has no interest in the Heike. He cares nothing for his father's life. He says to let die what will die. Is it possible that he feels the same way about his own life? Is there really anything in this world that this man truly lives for? Us at this point. The question creeped into my mind and wormed its way down into my heart. Kyoto. No, Rokuhara. Tomomori and I continued along the road, moon hidden behind a blanket of thick clouds. I have the feeling does Tomomori not even care about his own life? Whatever, and it's are we gonna get to the point where don't die, Tomomori, you have to live for me, and then he will. Then our feet stopped in front of an enormous estate.
Spacey, keep your veil on and remain silent, okay?
Got it. And you are Master Tomomori! Where on earth have you been? We've been searching everywhere for you!
I'm terribly sorry. The wounds I received in the last battle left me unable to move. But when I heard about my father, I couldn't stay. I pushed my injured body to come back home.
My goodness, we had no idea you were hurt so badly!
How was my father doing?
Neither medicine or prayer seemed to work. Tokuko's been worried sick about him. She's been here for the past few days.
I see. Please send the others away. I'd like to speak to my father alone right away.
After taking a glance at the housekeepers, Tomomori took my hand and led me deeper into the compound. Lord Tomomori, this is...
She's been looking after my injuries. I'm not completely cured yet, you see.
But...
Is there anything more to say of it? I'm in quite a hurry.
I feel like it's so funny that they would question Tomomori. He's not just some random person. Like, I'm terribly sorry. Tomomori walked out, shaking off the housekeeper. I went along with him, staying silent as we walked. So his plan literally was just to walk through the front door after all. Tomomori, who was walking in front of me, looked back at me, and I stared at him from under my veil. Tomomori smiled out of the corner of his mouth, put his hand on my head, and pulled the veil down further in front of my eyes.
Well, we're here.
They're like, you really were going to stroll in through the front gate? He's like, why shouldn't I? I live here. Really, gotta meet Kiyomori Taira. You say that like it's a good thing?
Father, excuse me.
When I followed Tomomori into the room, I was struck by the pungent smell of medicine and a large man lying on his side. So this is Kiyomori Taira. His skin was pale and gaunt due to his illness, but he still retained a dignified look on his face. This is the man who killed my father, who took my mother as a concubine, who forced me to live in the mountains of Kurama. Because of this man, my father, my mother, my brothers, all of us. When it came time to meet face to face, my chest tightened with unspeakable emotions. It's funny, he took our mother as a concubine, and yet then now she's married to some other dude. So he was like, yeah, I'm tired of you, and just tossed her out, like, basically.
Father, are you awake? This is Tomomori. He's in worse shape than I thought. We may not be able to learn anything from him like this. Father.
When Tomomori called out again, Kiyomori's closed eyelids fluttered slightly.
Tomomori.
I have to make him sound like he's dying, right? I don't know.
Father, let me get you some water.
Water? I found a jug on a tray on the floor. Picking up the jug, I walked up to the two of them and offered it to Tomomori. Tomomori...
Oh, thank you.
Oh, who is that? In a flash, Kiyomori's arm stretched outward, pulling off my veil. Oh no!
Who are you? Let me see your face.
Then Kiyomori's hand grabbed my arm. Kiyomori's voice and power were so strong that it was hard to believe he was actually sick. If we didn't know that he actually dies after this, from this, you'd be like, he's faking it! You'd think it was a ruse, wouldn't you?
Father!
Tomomori tried to intervene, but Kiyomori brushed him off. Kiyomori grabbed my arm and stared directly into my face.
You're...
The lanterns on the floor flickered, casting an eerie dance of light and shadow on Kiyomori's face. Probably the reason he dies in this round. He's so funny. His eyes opened wide and his mouth quivered slightly. Oh no. He knows I'm Genji! No, he's gonna be like, you're that child I gave up! He doesn't know who we are. You know what I mean?
You're... Oh! Rengetsu! What's Rengetsu? What's Rengetsu?
What does that mean? What?
You've returned! You've come back to me!
He looks so happy about this! That didn't even give me a word to tell. Did it tell you in the dictionary once before what the fuck that is? I feel like I've heard that word before, but I don't know. I stared at Kiyomori in dismay as his whole body shook and he began to weep. Where's that person's name?
I knew you'd come back. I always believed. I knew you'd come back to me, Rengetsu. Let me get a good look at you.
Is that someone? Maybe it's a name. Maybe it's a name. What? Rengetsu? Who the hell is that? Who is he confusing me with? Okay, it's a name. All right. Is it confusion, or is he in some kind of dream?
What's wrong? Why don't you respond to me? Don't tell me you don't remember me.
Fill me in on the story!
Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps I'm talking too much. I haven't given you the chance to say a word.
Tell me the story of us, Kiyomori. Let me hear it from your voice. What?
Your face, the color of your eyes. You haven't changed a bit since I last saw you.
And when was that exactly? That's when you hold his hand and you're like, tell me the story in your own words. I've always loved the sound of your voice. Shh, and then you just get him. Professional con man! Only when I'm playing games. My mind couldn't keep up with the situation, and I found myself unable to speak. Tomomori, too, seemed paralyzed.
Rengetsu, why did you leave me? Do you have any idea how long I searched for you?
Unless that's his wife?
I've been worried sick about you all this time. I wondered if you could survive on your own. If you could live.
Mother. Tomomori quickly lunged to support his father's staggering body. But Kiyomori didn't avert his gaze from me. This is so interesting.
Seems I've very little time left, Rengetsu. I leave the Heike in your hands.
What now? What are you saying?
You've been away for so long, and now you've finally come back to me.
I'm so confused. I love this.
You must have heard my pleas, my longing to see you again. Getsu, please, take care of the clan.
Shaking all over, Kiyomori clung to my arm. So, you were witness to this. I own you, motherfuckers now. Tokuko's gonna have a field day with this shit. No, I
can trust you. There's no one in the world like you. My only companion.
Oh my god. Wait. Uh-huh. That makes it sound like there was a romantic relationship. But... Well, but then again, he doesn't say, Rengetsu doesn't have to be a woman. Could have been a guy, my only companion, my best friendo. You know what I mean? Like, Shungen and I are besties, right? And that person could have been my father. And, it's just so interesting, anyway.
Please.
I'm gonna die. Yeah. I watched as the light drained from Kiyomori's eyes, and he fell back limply in my arms. All the strength gone from him. We just killed the man! I looked down at the unmoving body, stunned.
Lady Tokuko, you can't! I was instructed to keep all visitors out by Tomomori!
Get out of my way! I don't care what Tomomori told you! Tomomori, where the hell have you been? Just when father needs you most! Tomomori! The woman walked in briskly, and her eyes widened when she saw the state of the room. This would have been so much better if she was here when he was like,
No, I leave it in your hands!
You heard the man! I own you, bitch! You do what I say! Slap her. Just for funsies, because she's kind of a fucking bitch. I love her because she's a fucking bitch. You know what I mean? Again, you can't really blame her for, being like, I want the best for my child, so we're gonna take over the world. I'm okay, sure. A little extreme, but Mother!
Our father is gone.
No, that's not possible! Mother! Ripping Kiyomori from my arms, the woman clung to her father's corpse. No, this can't be! Father, don't leave me!
Tokuko.
At least she cared about her dad. For whatever reason, maybe legit, or because, nefarious reasons, but I mean, okay. So this is Lady Tokuko, the Heike heiress who married into the imperial family. Oh, if only I could have been here to say goodbye to him. Well, that's okay. He left the Heike in my hands, so pats her on the head. I mean, literally, Tomomori was here. We have witnesses. Tomomori, what did you say to him? What were his last words? His last words were calling my friend here, Rengetsu, and giving the Heike to her. Yeah. Tokuko looked up at Tomomori with tears streaming down her cheeks. And then, I love you, bird, but do not fucking eat my headset! I love you, but stop it! Who is this person? Finally noticing my presence, Tokuko asked suspiciously.
This is...
Why is there a stranger in our father's bedchamber? Tokuko's gaze met mine as she grabbed my arm tightly. You! Oh, Tokuko frowned and held her head.
Tokuko, what's wrong?
Tomomori was going to be like, it's my wife? She's like, you went to one battle and you came back with a wife? He's like, yes. You can't scream like her. But... Are you all right? She clung to me, her nails digging deep into my skin, and I began to feel blood run down my arm. I was like, did we just kill her? Who are you? Why are you here? How dare you? What the hell is going on? Why are Kiyomori and Tokuko acting like this? Ah!
Tokuko!
Tokuko screamed and fainted.
Tokuko, what is it? What's wrong? Excuse me, Lord Tomomori.
Hearing Tokuko's cries, the household members who had been waiting in the hallway entered the room.
Lord Kiyomori! Lady Tokuko! Someone call the doctor! Send for Lord Norimori at once!
I ran out of the room as if to flee the scene of a crime.
This is intense! We just killed a man and made his daughter faint! We're not really the fault of, Kiyomori died, but, this is interesting. I'm having fun here. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up, and we'll see what happens next time. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up, and subscribe to see more!